The purpose of this channel is to show viewers that we are living in the very last days according to the Holy Bible. Most of the images you are about to see were obtained either yesterday or the day before that from the FAA weather cameras in Alaska and Colorado, so most of these images are very recent. Our first video demonstrates the bell-shaped projector that was obtained yesterday from the south-facing weather camera located in Ketchikan, Alaska. Now this footage starts out at 9:48 a.m., this is local time, with a faint reflection of the projector coming into view from the right side of the screen. Remember that we are only looking at a reflection of the projector. The actual projector is too far away to be picked up by these weather cameras or by the naked eye. As you can see in this footage, the projector has a bell shape, and it's only present when an eclipse is occurring. This projector creates a large circular glare as the eclipsing planet passes behind the manufactured light that we're going to see in just a minute. These images were gathered from another close-by camera in the same town, facing the southeast instead of the south. This shows the eclipse that the projector is hiding. The sun is being eclipsed by a celestial object so huge that I'm just surprised we're not having more earthquakes and exploding volcanoes. I mean, this thing looks like it takes up 20% of the sky. The yellow dashed circle indicates that this planet is huge from this camera's view. Of course, junior high science class teaches all of us that we could never actually see something like this behind the real sun with the naked eye or with these weather cameras. So when you see the sun passing over these objects, you rest assured that this is not the sun. It is a manufactured light passing in front of these objects. The manufactured light I mentioned also appears as a dot in the middle of the round glare. It casts a reflection upon the water surfaces because it is an actual piece of equipment. This light-producing equipment is very close to the Earth, and from our perspective here on the ground, the manufactured light always appears as though it's in front of the sun. If the sun is being eclipsed, the manufactured light completely disappears behind very small objects. The reason for this is that the equipment only produces a large circular glare to make it appear as though the sun is still shining, completely hiding these multiple daily eclipses. Now, if that glare is blocked while the sun is being eclipsed, then it completely disappears behind unusually small objects. Remember, this only happens when the sun is being eclipsed. Untold trillions have been spent on the technology to hide the inbound planetary system. The reason for this mass deception is because the enemies of Christ do not want you to know how close we are to the end, so that you cannot turn your life over to Jesus while you still have time. Information is at the end of this video instructing you on how to accept Christ into your life. If the cloud cover is just right during an eclipse, it blocks out the manufactured glare and shows the light emitter traveling through the sky as a tiny dot. We've seen this hundreds and hundreds of times in these videos. The glare-producing equipment is capable of instantly expanding into a gigantic glare that can cover a huge percentage of the sky. This successfully hides any nearby planets within the bright glare. Here is another image showing a reflection of the bell-shaped projector and also a reflection of the planet that is currently eclipsing the sun. The southeast-facing camera in Klawock, Alaska, shows another good image of a reflection of the projector and also a reflection of the planet that is currently eclipsing the sun. Notice how the bell is always aimed toward the sun so that it can keep projecting a circular glare onto the sun as the eclipsing planet passes behind the manufactured light, completely concealing the eclipse. If we draw a line from the center of the manufactured light to the reflection of the projector, the eclipsing planet always falls upon that line. Always. Remember where this line is, because we're going to see the eclipsing planet in the next few frames. Now look closely, because this planet is very difficult to see, even with contrast applied, because the atmospheric chemicals are so heavy and continuously sprayed throughout the entire world to hide this inbound planetary system. These are all signs that we are living in the very, very last days. These projectors are also used at nighttime whenever our moon is being eclipsed. This footage was captured by the south-facing weather camera located in Harris River Pass, Alaska. Now look closely, because here we see the moon moving from the left to the right, which is normal across the screen, while the reflection of the projector appears to move in the opposite direction. It's very hard to see at nighttime, so look closely. The reason that the projector appears to move in the opposite direction is because we are seeing a reflection of the projector and not the actual equipment. The projector usually begins appearing on the right side of the screen as a tiny dot. As this reflection gets closer to the manufactured light source, it begins to take on the shape of a bell. This footage shows the bell shape in front of the clouds, indicating that it is definitely a reflection. This single frame from the Northway camera in Alaska shows a really clear image of the projector's reflection. Here is something you will find really interesting. The arrow over on the right is pointing at a cloaked planet that is going to eclipse the sun in 1 hour. As soon as the eclipse occurs, look, the manufactured glare is instantly reduced by more than 20%. The manufactured glare is not able to maintain a consistent diameter as it passes over this planet behind it. In just a second, we will see exactly what just eclipsed our sun. Keep watching. After the sun passes by, we can see the object that was eclipsing the sun. It is being skewed by optics, which we've seen many, many times throughout these videos. In the Bible's book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, Jesus tells us that we will see signs in the sky when the end is near. In Luke chapter 21, verse 36, Jesus says, "Watch therefore, and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass." Jesus is referring to God's wrath, his judgments, plagues. He is saying that those who are counted worthy will escape God's wrath. Now remember that. Those who are counted worthy will escape God's wrath. We're going to talk more about that in a couple minutes. To be counted worthy, we must be living in holiness. A link in the description box below discusses what holiness is and how to achieve it. Part of God's wrath Now, part of it is the destruction brought on by the close proximity of this foreign solar system that has now intermingled with our own solar system. Many places in the Bible promise us that those living in holiness are not appointed to God's wrath.